Towards the end of the 90s, protest and electronic music diversified, and Doof culture retreated into the domain of the trance party format.
The word Doof today has been adopted by the outdoor psytrance crews and the outdoor psytrance culture. Doof culture has always played an important part in generally bringing issues to awareness, whether it be environmental, political, community kind of minded issues come up through it. The culture itself breeds community straight up. And people do care for each other out at events. There is that whole do-it-yourself aspect. At the same time, we do care for each other out at the events. So that definitely spills out over into the mainstream, the general society. The Australian Doof experience is pretty raw. It does match the heat and the landscape. As most Doof parties, especially the big festivals, like Rainbow Serpent, Earthcore, they happen in the middle of summer. Some of the older people might say it's not so special anymore, but to the younger crowd it still is, and that's actually a really important point.
In the same way that punk was absorbed by the mainstream, the culture of Doof has been commercialised. Mega one-day corporate-sponsored festivals populate our summer's calendar. But scratch below the surface and you can still discover some amazing happenings where profit isn't the #1 priority.
I think it's still exciting for young people to go, but there's a different agenda behind it. I don't think it's necessarily that purposeful.
In the 90s, like with Vibe Tribe and Trance Elements and early seminal party movements, was that the people that went to them felt that they were participating in a sort of subculture that was an alternative media. People would sell their own screen printed shirts, there'd be limited edition books. People felt an affinity with that reflected their lives and the sense of disenfranchisement they felt in mainstream society. It's become just big business.
I think if you're interested in soul searching, challenging the status quo, looking the way the world's set up, having an opinion about it, doing something about it, the festivals aren't the place to do it. And there still are parties where you can do those things.
It's breaking away again, where people go into smaller gatherings to redefine this feeling of identity with others.
In events that I played at, like Sci-Ferry, Regen and Happy Valley, and events like that. Dragon Dreaming was another good example of that, where communities get together and they put on the music for the sake of the music and not just to sell some junk.
I know that there's 20-year-olds rocking up 3 hours inland from here to trance parties and having their lives changed overnight.
People my generation, mid-20s, they still really like to party illegally because it makes them feel free and active. But I think we're a lot more inundated by negative information. There's a lot more, we're very confused and overwhelmed by where to focus our direct action. And I think a lot of people my age kind of just choose apathy or complacency because it's a bit easier.